tonight.
Alright, YouTubers, welcome back. This is going to be finally the most requested thing ever, is my rig walk around. So this is going to be the walk around of my FJ. I'm going to try my best to group things together. So in the description below, there should be a list of different times on which things I talk about. So if you're only interested in front suspension or rear suspension or armor, you can go ahead and skip to those times. So go ahead and look down there, or you can watch a whole video. I understand this video is going to be a little bit longer, so if you don't want to watch the whole thing, go ahead and do that. I'm not going to cover like tools and stuff I carry. I don't think that's really necessary, so we'll go ahead and jump right in. First, we'll start with armor, and each thing we're going to start, work our way to the back. On the front bumper, I run a ResFab V2 3-hoop. I originally had a metal check on here, which I loved. I had no problems with it. I've always wanted a ResFab bumper. This one came up used. Lubed up FJC wanted my metal check one, so I bought this one used. The guy had it on his FJ for like 2 or 3 months. And I absolutely love this bumper. It looks sick. The way Mike makes it flow with the fenders without the over fenders on there looks fantastic. I couldn't be any happier. It's ridiculously strong. I pulled me up a Shelly hill in Natchez when I was towing John's 4Runner when he shredded the rear diff, broke a front diff mount, which cracked his oil pan, so he couldn't drive. There's no power, so I winched me and him up it strictly off the front bumper, and there was very little flex when winching, and when I was done, the bumper doesn't sit any different, which is really impressive. So for the front bumper, it's a ResFab. You can tell I've hit it on a rock, but super beefy, doesn't move, very well constructed. Mike's a really chill guy. For skid plates, basically all the way back is RCI. These were bought off of I bought them used from a guy that had a GX 470. They almost fit perfect. There are some modifications to the transmission skid plate and the transfer case skid plate if you're ever looking to do something like that, but for the price I got them for, it was totally worth doing. It looks like down there I have engine, transmission, transfer case, rear diff, which is currently off from pulling the rear diff, and that's it, which is a necessity. Fuel tank's not really that big of a deal. For sliders, these are Trail Gear bolt-on sliders. I highly recommend these. The only thing I don't like is they don't have a kick out. Trail Gear makes one of the beefiest sliders. I've seen several other brand sliders jacking up off of them, and when you jack up off of them, I can see them flex, or people come down on them really hard and they can't open their rear doors. Now mind you, these don't kick up and they don't kick out, which is two things that I wish they had. But other than that, I couldn't be happier with these. They're super strong. They are bolt-on. I recommend getting the bottom side of them welded onto the frame if you plan on keeping them on there. That's pretty much it for armor. There is no aftermarket rear bumper on here yet. As you can see, the factory one has taken a decent beating, and this is the second factory rear bumper that's been on here. So now that that's done, I'm going to try to get the quick things out of the way first. So we'll touch on drivetrain. Pretty simple. ARB 488 or ARB air locker in the front, 488 nitro gears front and rear with the solid spacers. The rear is still the factory 9-inch with the... Okay, it's in a freeze frame state because I meant to say factory 8-inch. I was thinking and just talking to someone about the difference between the 9.5 by Diamond or Ford 9-inch or the Dana 60 all by Curry is why I said 9-inch. FJs did not come with a 9-inch. Factory Toyota E-Locker, but it's all 488s. If you want more information on how it does on the freeway and all that, watch my video on breaking down the perfect gear ratio. As far as suspension goes, in the front, this is all pro 2-inch long travel box coilovers with reservoirs. If you're gonna go long travel, buy Dirt King or Total Chaos. That's all I'll say on that, or Camberg. This kit has mostly been rebuilt with Total Chaos and or Camberg stuff, like uniballs and poly bushings and whatnot. Total Chaos CVs, Toyota factory inners and outers. Where the moneymaker is right here are these bump stops. These are made by the Plastics guy, or ToyotaBumpStops.com. I will put his link in the description. I highly recommend these. So most of you are going to need to sweat that white Delrin spacer in there. Most people aren't going to need that. I have that because on the long travel, the bump pad's a lot lower than what it is on the factory lower control arm. So you won't need that, and I can actually shorten that up a little bit. I just went long to begin with. So that is the front suspension. I'll show you this side. Also, stainless steel brake lines, same pump stop. And then we'll move to the back here. It's going to be a little bit harder to see. Shocks are Dobinson MRR long travel shocks. They're like 16.7 inches collapse, which is really good for a long travel style shock. Highly recommend those. Springs are Dobinson 677Vs, progressive rate long travel springs. Highly recommend these. They're 400 plus pounds, so they give you plenty of extra weight with all the stuff you put in the truck. Skid plates, armor, rear bumper, bigger rear tire, gas, whatever you have back there. Also, back here is the rear set of the Plastics guy bump stops. These are Dura bumps. They work phenomenal. For links, right now the factory panhard bar is in. I have the aftermarket panhard bar. I just need to take the time to put it in. These are custom made by a guy out of California. Don't believe he's making them anymore. And I don't really recommend them either. The Heims he used were not good. They went out almost immediately, like less than 2 weeks. And he used a metric one, so it was kind of a pain in the ass to get replacements for. I got that all figured out now, so they work fine. Same with lowers, all adjustable. I'm running crawler joints in them. They call them a serviceable Heim. They're basically if a Heim and a Johnny joint made a love child, you would get these. That, and then extended brake lines in the rear also. These are a necessity for extended brake lines are a necessity for long travel rear. For tires, I'm currently running 35 1250s Cooper STT Pros on the factory 16-inch off-road package FJ wheel. These are my favorite Toyota rims. I love running 16s. You get a better performance when aired down. I would love to go 37s. That might be a thing that could come in the future. I'm not entirely sure. For lighting, This is a common question I get on where I got these lights. These are very high quality Amazon lights, but I would keep buying them. I have zero issues. They don't leak. They're stupid bright. The brackets they come with are super nice, good and beefy. There's like no movement in the light at all. Highly recommend these. I know people like Baja Designs and Rigid and KC and all that. I would rather put that money elsewhere. I don't wheel that off in the dark, and I'm not racing in the desert where I need to be able to smash into stuff with my lights and them still work. That's why I have these. I will show the brightness of them shortly. And in here is, I have two pods. I have pods facing back. This is something that I take a lot of shit about, and I give myself a lot of shit about, is their rock lights or their poser lights. They do both of those things. You can turn them on in a parking lot, look cool, whatever. Turn them on at a car show, look cool, whatever. What they do work really well for is two things. In the night, spotting really lights up that area, so, and underneath the truck, so the spotter knows what's going on. And two, I don't know if you guys have ever broke anything in the trail or broke anything in the trail in the dark. Even if you have a flashlight, it's really nice to be able to flood that area. There, it's alright, I had to go turn them on so this to make more sense. But anytime you work on anything, you got plenty of light down here. It's super bright, and it really helps if you need to be spotted in the dark. So that's why I have those. While we're still on lights, I'll go ahead and show you guys the front lights here. Alright, those are the front lights. Now, it's still pretty light out, but you can kind of get an idea on, moon's coming down a little bit. You can see it shining on that. You can see it on the ground. Definitely bright enough for me. Alright, since we're on the topic of lighting, I run an Odyssey 31, a small Blue Sea. I need a bigger cable here, but for now, the amperage draw that I have, this is enough. Running through some relays. This is for the ARB compressor. I run a single ARB compressor. The single ARB compressor is barely enough for 35s. If you're going to buy one, just buy a dual, bite the bullet and do that. And obviously the blue line for the locker, and then this runs to a tank in the back when I have the tank in. That pretty much sums it up. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if I missed anything about this that you guys want to know, just ask. You can ask me on Instagram, DM me here, and my email is also attached to the Team Broverland Instagram. Thank you all for watching. I seriously appreciate it. And I'll see you guys later.
Hey, I say I'm everything and more, and you can't tell me any different. You knew rap is cool, but you far from competition. The best white rapper to emerge since 9/11. Semi-suicidal beats, I get them all into heaven. I got some poet demand, I'll even pull for your man. Although we don't like my music, his girl's a hell of a fan. Today's Mike Jordan, but I'm fading from humble. I slam my chest like Harambe to gain respect from the jungle. Said I'm the clutch man, I'm clutch man. Feeling like the jump man, flinching at legends, laughing out loud when they jump man. There's something about the things that I never got. So focused on myself, I just laugh when they taking shots. I just laugh at they little plots. You don't upset the dude, I'm glad you hate. Let pops raise you, then admit it when you graduate. Hey, you my son, I son you rappers.